to me, but I'm saying that, thank you. Thank you. I think it's a Nietzsche line. Nietzsche, I think, I might have come up with the line myself when I was reading Nietzsche. To be such that even insults raise your self-esteem. That's a great man. Possibly. Or a psychotic. And the problem is, society can't tell the difference between freaks and psychotics and geniuses. Freaks on the one hand and geniuses on the other. And the freaks are the bottom 1%, and the geniuses are the top 1%, and everybody just says they can't tell the difference between the extremes. There's normal people and then there's freaks. So I was accused of being like Peikoff, having personal tendencies like Peikoff. I've been tyrannical like that from an early age. On the one hand, I kind of have to say that Benjamin Franklin has a point in always using the polite sort of Socratic method, just even in conversation, in anything you say or do. Not Socratic in the sophist way of back and forth debate, but just Socratic in the way of not being polemical. He has his point about that. You get along better with people. My question is, do you want to get along with those people? And y'all are saying I need to act differently and get along with these people. Which people? Why do I want to get along with them? What do I get out of getting along with them? Do I need them? Do I want them? Maybe it's detrimental to my cause if I'm seen getting along with them. Depends on what my cause is. So to finish up this story about all gossip and what people say and stuff, I'm not quitting YouTubing. I'm not going away. I'd love it if you send me money. I think I do important work on here. I think that I do good stuff on here. I don't send my money to a lot of people. Ayn Rand said the only public cause she ever supported in her entire life and sent money to was the defense of Israel during its war. I'm not expecting donations to pour in. I love every penny that anybody sends me, and I appreciate it. I'm appealing, on the basis of the quality of the work I do. I do hard work on here. And as I've said in the videos to dospook, this hard work someday is going to be put into, a book or pamphlets or whatever. You'll have to pay for my content. That day is coming, but it's not here yet. So enjoy, and if you think there's a reason to support me, send some money. But the final line of it being, I'm on here for myself, not for your money. So that's why I got on here. The fact of getting some money out of it to help with the school and stuff, and just to help pay for my intellectual content before the school was even an option, before I even had the school up and running. People were saying just to get for the intellectual content to get some compensation. The compensation thing was a side note all along, so I don't know. I guess there's my justification. I didn't get on here to make money, and if I don't get any money, I'm not going to quit YouTubing. I'm going to stay on here. Even though I have to put up with comments from dospook, Zorio, and company. Benjamin Franklin has his point about getting along well with people, but do you want to get along with those people? That's the problem. Like selfishness. Like I say, look, selfish means you want to benefit yourself, right? How is being destructive to other people a benefit to yourself? Wouldn't a truly selfish person look at the long term and be rational and not want to impinge on other people's rights? Wouldn't a truly selfish person want to protect their rights? That's my line of reasoning. And then people come back and reply to me, Well, yeah, that makes sense, it's logical, sure, it's reasonable, but that's not how people use the word. People use the word differently. And then they say, like, words are in culture, they're subjective, they're in society, words occur in the community. Words have a meaning. They are concepts derived from reality. And if the concept is not derived from reality, you point a finger at the person and you say, no, 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 you don't misform concepts like that because that can lead you astray. So you can't take the idea of a person who only wants to benefit themselves and a person who automatically self-destructs in the long run and put them together. Doesn't happen in reality, and you're not going to get away with it in the concept. Knock it off. Selfish means rational. It's a redundancy to say rational selfishness. A selfish person is a person who does things for themselves. There's the concept in popular culture of a selfish person doesn't actually refer to anything in reality. It's like a concept of ghosts or goblins or whatever. The people who do the things they call selfish are actually empty shells who are just living off the impressions of the people around them. So, no more equivocation on that. And I'm not going to take the attitude, not unless I have a stroke and my whole attitude towards everything changes or something. I'm never going to take the attitude that I should be non-offensive to my enemies. Is Zorio my enemy? Well, let's see. I'm working for the cause of rationality. He questions my ability to know anything. I'm working to restore in culture a respect for reason and science and rationality. He tells me all of those are an opinion of mine and that I need to be prepared to be wrong. I mean, am I working against Zorio? Yeah, he stands for the destruction of everything that's good and right. And I don't care how polite he is on camera. I don't care. Now, people can take the opposite view of me, and they took the opposite view of Ayn Rand. I did that I'm taking to Zorio, or the equivalent view. Ayn Rand was abrupt and rude sometimes with audience questions and stuff. And in her personal life, she was a tyrant. And I don't care. You can't turn me off of her ideas. When she says A is A and capitalism is good, I don't care if she screamed at somebody one day or slapped someone. I don't frickin' care, you know? And if Mr. Crawford gets on there and points out the irrationality of academia, and he points out the ridiculousness of going to original sources for its own sake and not even doing anything. You get to the original source and then you just ramble. You still don't conclude anything, even though you got the original source right in front of your face. Mr. Cropper ridicules this. Mr. Cropper ridicules the fact that the academicians like to go to the source for the sake of going to the source. This happens. I'm going to possibly do some good excerpts from a psychology book. Got some books at the library, used book sale. Do some excerpts about how ridiculous it can be sometimes. They cite sources for the most rudimentary statements, facts, observations. Like you have to cite a source for it. Not only that, but they cite every source, obsessively, systematically. You can name virtues in that, but I can name vices in it, like obsession with sources. So, going to the original source is just fine. But I want everyone to realize what happened with Zorio. We went to the original source. Qtron Man read from Kant himself. Zorio read from Kant himself. Didn't do anybody any good. Zorio still insists that Kant really meant this or that or whatever. Now, one of the problems with Zorio is his academic mentality. He wants to talk about what Kant meant, not about the meaning of Kant's philosophy. That's different. That's your interpretation. That's your reality. He wants to talk about Kant's reality, what Kant meant.